In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a grainy textured plastic like you see on lots of consumer electronics like PC monitors or game consoles. I'll be using Blender 4.2 on a Windows operating system with an NVIDIA graphics card, Cycles render engine and a custom startup file. Just before I continue with the tutorial, let me remind you that you can grab this material and hundreds more on my Gumroad store, blenderbitesize.gumroad.com. Right, let's make a start. I'm in the shading tab. I have display render preview enabled. I have my scene set up with my object selected, and of course I'm using the Cycles render engine. So let's start by applying a new material. And we've got the material output, but I'm going to ditch the principled shader here and I'm going to use the old school way of doing this. So the first thing that I want is a Voronoi texture. So I'm going to press Shift A and search for that, select it and apply it. And I'm going to plug the distance value into the material output. Nothing's going to make sense right now, so stick with me. To this Voronoi texture, I'm going to apply a mapping node and a texture coordinate. So I'm going to press Ctrl T to do that. If you don't have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, that might not work. So just manually search for and apply both of those. And I'm going to use the object coordinates going into the vector mapping there. Next up, I want a diffuse BSDF. And I want a glossy BSDF. Now I'm going to mix both together. Again, with the Node Wrangler enabled, you can press Ctrl Shift, right click one and drag to the other, and that brings up the mix shader. And I'm going to plug that into the surface because we've now mixed these two together. Now to control that, I'm going to use a layer weight node, and I will plug the facing value into the factor of the mix shader. I'll be adjusting all of the settings in a minute. I just wanted to get the node tree set up. I'm going to move these off a bit because I want to put something under the diffuse. Now the colour that's coming in here I'm going to take as the distance from the Voronoi texture. And I'm going to put a colour ramp in between those two. I'm going to put a math node. No, I'm not. I'm going to put a mix color node. And I'm going to plug the color output from the color ramp into the A slot on the mix color node. And then I'm going to take the color out or the result output from here and plug it into the glossy. Now, not a lot's happening here at the moment. Don't panic. I'm going to duplicate this color ramp, take the distance from the Voronoi and put that in there. Then I'm going to get myself a bump node, plug that into the normal of the glossy, and take the color from the second color ramp and plug that into the height. So that's all of the nodes that we need. Now let's start making some changes. Let's start at this end. Now I'm going to start by changing the scale and I'm going to go way up to 750. Now if I zoom in a bit on this, you can probably see what's happening. So we've got lots of these little spotty things. Actually, if I isolate this, you can probably see better. I'm also going to change the scale to 2. So to select all of them and apply 2 to all of them, press the Alt key before you left click and then drag down to select them all. If I reset that to 1, keep your eyes on here about what happens. So as opposed to changing the scale in the Voronoi texture, I'm changing it in the mapping node. So it's basically doubled that. Now I want to leave these as they are, and I'll select normalize, and you can see that kind of intensifies the blackness a bit here. I want to set the detail to 1, that scales it back just a bit. I will leave the roughness at 0.5 and all of these other settings as they are. Okay, let's get back to the overall look. So that's kind of weird looking at the moment, but we've still got more to do. So on the colour ramp, we're going to apply a third colour right in the middle. And for this colour, we're going to go for a hue of 0.667 and a value of 0.35. No, 0.035. There we go. That's better. In fact, actually, I might drop it down a bit more. 0.025. Now, if I move my cursor over this colour bar, press Ctrl C, select the next colour and the next colour, and press Ctrl V each time on this colour bar, I can actually paste that into those colours. I'm going to go back to this second one though, and I'm going to drop this down to 0.01. And then this last one, 0.005. So we're almost at black. But if I isolate this colour ramp, you probably can't see it too well, but basically I'm creating a graduated colour around the spots of the Voronoi texture. So I'm converting this data into the colour data here. Now if I go back to the main thing, we'll keep an eye on what's going on here. Now if I come up to the layer weight node, I'm going to change that to 0.4. I'll show you more about that in a minute. For the diffuse BSDF, we're going to set the roughness at 0.4. I'm going to change the blending mode on the mix color to add. Leave that and that as they are, and I'm going to copy this first color from here and paste it in here. You can see it's kind of knocked back all of those highlights, which is what we wanted. Actually, let me just put that up a little bit more. So let's say 0.5. No. 0.35. No. 0.3. No. 0.26. No. Let me copy that colour again. There we go. It will make more sense when we get there later. Anyway, right. So for this colour ramp, which is going to control the bump node, let me activate that so you can see what's going on. We are going to take the darkest colour from here, from the first colour ramp, and we're going to paste it in here. Then I'm going to paste it into that second colour, but I'm going to bring that to position 0.6, and then I'm going to increase that value just very slightly. You can see how it controls that bump detail. So let's say 0.006. Now it's currently recessing, but I want it to come out. So If I click invert on the bump node, you can see how that affects it. Now the strength I'm going to put to 0.5 and the distance to 0.1. And I can further control that detail with the value here. I find this a little better than trying to control it here. Anyway, let's go back to the main thing. So we've got some bump detail going on, we've got some colour going on. Now for the glossy BSDF settings, we're going to go for a roughness of 0.35. So you can see now that actually brought in some highlights. If I go back and put it back to what it was, it's quite matte. But if we go down to 0.35, we get some more highlights. The further down we go, the more highlights we'll get, or the glossier it will get, basically. That's the point of this node. And then for this anisotropy, don't know how you say it, but that's what I'm going with. I'm going to change this to 0.1. And it's just the way the light interacts with the object. Now, believe it or not, that's the shader done. That's your mixed shader. So let me kind of try and make some sense of this for you. If I frame this and give that a name, main texture. So this group of nodes here, the texture coordinate, the mapping and the Voronoi, are creating the basic dot texture. This color ramp is controlling the texture color. So you remember how we turned those dots into sort of graduated circles. This is what's controlling that. So actually if I type in here color ramp texture color, I'll do it the American spelling, then we can remember what that is when we come back to it. Now the bump strength is being controlled by these two. So if I frame these, and by the way I'm pressing Shift P after I've selected both nodes to frame them. What was I going to call this? Oh, bump strength. And these are creating all sorts of different things that we're mixing together with the mix shader. So let me isolate those so you can see what they're doing. So the layer weight is basically highlighting areas according to the way that the light or the camera is looking at that object. So you can see how we've got the white areas around the outside of this three-dimensional object. But as I turn it, they change and adjust according to the position of the object in relation to the camera or the viewpoint. And that we're using as a mix factor to mix these two together. So we've got the diffuse, which is kind of the roughness of the object, which is also being powered by the color that we created here. So think of this as our main color. And I can either make it very rough or not rough at all. But we've gone for a value of 0.4. And that's being mixed with this glossy shader, which has also the bump detail. Actually, what would happen if I put that into the diffuse as well? Not really a huge difference. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, the glossy. So this is giving us the highlights and the glossiness. And basically those are kind of coming through wherever we have got the whiter areas or the detail of the object and the light bouncing off it. So you can see there. So those two are being mixed together according to this. Hope that makes sense. Now, this bit here, keep your eyes on the highlights. I can actually change the tint of the highlights using this node. So that's its only purpose, and you can change the strength and the overall coverage using the factor here. I just thought that was a little extra something that was kind of fun. So if you kind of got a special coating perhaps on the plastic surface, like a UV coating, maybe you could create something quite clever with that. For me, it's just something a little bit subtle. Okay, so that is it. Let me render that out so you can see what I've done. I've gone for a noise threshold of 0.05, which is quite low considering I normally do 0.5. But what I've found with this texture is if I use the denoiser, it tends to smudge out all of this detail. So I've gone for a noise threshold quite low. Let's send it to render. And there we go. Even with such a low threshold, I've still got a render time of just under 10 seconds, which isn't bad per frame. I mean, yes, I'd prefer it to be lower, but I think that's all right. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. By the way, thanks everyone for getting this channel to 10,000 subscribers. I found that out today at the time I was recording this video, so that's awesome. Thank you very much. Of course, if you aren't already subscribed, please do so and make sure to like the video before you go today. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching.